Hey everybody! Just a quick reminder, these stories aren't always public perfect conversation. I do use a lot of strong language in here, and I talk about some things that aren't always necessarily pleasant to hear. But I hope you still enjoy it. Also, please don't forget to check me out on everywhere you can find music and other podcasts. Mostly, follow me on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can get ad-free content, 24 hours early access to episodes, and for $3 a month, you get the options of having community chats with me and some of the other fans. For $5 a month, you get voting powers on any changes I want to run through the fans. You also get priority requests and suggestions, live Q&As, community chats, one-on-one chats with me personally, either through messages or through calls, and maybe we can even set up a time to be a guest on the show. And of course, that's in addition to everything from the lower tiers. I'm planning on doing more with the community as it grows. With that being said, let's get into the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Stories from Behind the Counter, and as always, I'm your host, Alpha. So I know I haven't been the best at posting every week. Things have been getting a little more crazy. It looks like I may have to go down to once or twice a month that I'll be posting episodes. I can make it more. I just need more stories from you guys. So please, anybody that's listening, as always, send your stories, please. I've had a couple of people meet me in real life and figure out who I am, and they say, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. This show is awesome. I hope it works out for you. And I had to remind them the same thing. It'll only work out if people send me stories. Because if I try to do this and go full time, guess what? I'm not getting any of my own stories out anymore, right? So help me out, guys. I'd appreciate it. If you want this to keep going, I need some help. And secondly, so working in retail, fast food, or anywhere, and overall just trying to live our adult lives sometimes, you need some help getting energy, but you're not trying to get cracked out, especially when you're trying to cut out some of the extreme amounts of sugar, caffeine, and just anything to try and be a little bit healthier. Well, Aspire Energy is the perfect replacement, just to get through the day, to try and continue on with your adult life. Be the martial artist you are. It doesn't matter. This energy drink is way healthier and a lot cleaner energy than anything else I've ever tried. It's a green tea energy drink with only about 80 milligrams of caffeine, so it's about the same as a cup of coffee, with no sugars, so you won't have that crazy sugar high and a crash, or the jitters from 200 milligrams of caffeine in one drink. I've been drinking these for a while now, and I will take these over any other brand. I've been feeling better. I'm still able to get through the day. My stomach feels better, and just overall feel healthier. The apple acai is my favorite flavor so far, but I'm excited to try the cherry one as well. There are so many more other flavors. I'm sure you can find one that you'll like too. So, check it out for yourselves. Use my show's special promo code SFBTC and get 20% off. The link is below in the show notes. And with that being said, let's get into the actual episode. So this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to start out with a little bit of a rant and a way to answer the question I get sometimes. I'm often told I don't know what to send in. What kind of stories do you want? Well, like I said before, it's the kind of stupid shit that we deal with every day in any job. If you work with the public, you've got one of those stories that you can't make up to save your life. It can be the super crazy stuff. Those are always super fun. But not everything has to be insane. At least not to make it onto the show. So here's an idea. Tell me about your regular problematic people. Customers, coworkers, management, etc. Just tell me about the stupid shit you deal with. On the customer side, let's talk about our regulars. I'm not opposed to hearing good heartwarming stuff either, mind you. But let's face it. The stupid annoying shit is usually what happens, and that's usually what we remember. And every job has at least one person that as soon as they come in, no one likes them. No one wants to deal with them, and everyone wants to try and avoid them if at all possible. The one that every time this customer walks in, everyone gets that groan, that, oh God, not them. Or they hope their face doesn't get them fired when they do have to deal with them. These are the customers that always do something to annoy you. Whoever they're dealing with, however many times they've had to deal with them, they don't care. They do nothing but seemingly come in to cause chaos and make other people's lives a living, ongoing, torturous hell. What should maybe be a 2 to 3 minute encounter turns into a 20 or 30-minute interaction. Or even what even should be a 20-30 minute interaction, because you know it's going to be a little more complicated or whatever. It should only be 20 to 30 minutes. Turns into at least an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hour ordeal. And the issue even continues after they leave. These are the customers that usually show up on the weekend, or they'll show up late at night, shortly before closing, usually for optimal chaos, I'm sure. They know damn well there's limited resources at that time most of the time, and they know damn well that everyone's trying to get home. But still, they decide to come in, cause a whole shit ton of issues, cause problems, make everything confusing, walk away a couple times because, oh, I just forgot one thing. They got to sit there and make the entire transaction complicated because some of the stuff they want to take now, some of it they want to pick up later, some of it they want delivered. They just try to make it as confusing as possible. And then they sit there and they talk on the phone and fail to pay attention while the interaction's going on, adding to the confusion and the chaos. Those are always fun. Or for my restaurant folks, fast food joints. These are the customers who come in right before the kitchen is closing, or as soon as you open, and they wonder why everything isn't exactly the way they think it should be. I especially love the ones that come in right before close, and you so wish you could just be like, I'm sorry, the kitchen is shut down, you'll have to come back tomorrow. But your owner's the kind of piece of shit that will fire anybody if you deny anyone who walks in the last 30 seconds before we officially close. And of course, it's usually that one person that wants to order enough food to feed an entire fucking football team. And all of it has to be made with special instructions. And then they complain when it takes forever to get their food. Or what about the people that come into the ER, regular doctor's offices, for every little thing that's wrong with them, their children, or significant other? They're absolutely sure they've got the most outlandish, deadly disease that's from another country that they've never even been to, by the way, because of a new freckle that popped up or something stupid like that. Or for all my cop friends out there, the people who, when you guys get a call, you go out for every little thing, they're calling on everyone for sneezing their direction or something stupid like that. Or even worse, when you're called out to a scene and it's a usual problem child, the guy that you told, hey dude, straighten up your act 5 to 10 times. Yeah, those are the people I want to hear about. Those are the stories I want you to send me. It doesn't always have to be insane. Yes, I have told some absolutely insane stories on here, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I hope that helped clarify, because I know it helps me at least get some shit off my chest. Thanks for letting me rant, guys. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. So let's all talk about the fun pranks that we have to deal with at work. We were all kids once. We all used to make some phone call pranks or mess with people here and there, but kids these days just seem to be taking them a little further. So, twice in less than a month, at one particular store, we've had a prank caller and people in the store pulling pranks trying to cause absolute panic. The first one, some teenagers were running around telling other customers that somebody had passed out in an outside garden center. Then they'd continue to run around and find a few new people and tell them that someone had passed out, but in a different department. By the time I hear about this, I'm already off the clock, and I'm getting ready to walk out the door. As soon as I hear that someone's passed out, I ran back immediately to see if there was anyone checking for pulse, breathing, all that usual stuff. I'm prepping myself for the absolute possibility to have to give CPR. Well, for those of you who don't know, when you take the training for CPR, a good trainer will tell you be prepared. If you have to give CPR, you will be cracking some ribs. and that is a feeling that you won't forget. And although I myself have been lucky enough to never actually have to administer it, as a martial artist, I can tell you that you will never forget the feeling of bones cracking under your own hands, or when their leg wraps around yours. It's not a fun feeling. So, if someone actually is passed out, I'm not looking forward to having to crack their ribs just to try and save their life. It's a nasty feeling. I don't like it. I get back to the department that I was told they were in, and that's when a couple of other associates and customers are there, and they started to piece together the fact that this was a prank because we've searched all four departments, we were told, found nothing, and nothing seems to make sense. It was all very highly annoying, and I don't think my management ever found the kids that caused this panic, but at least no one was actually hurt, and I gotta thank God for that. But that was like a heart attack in a couple of seconds. That was not fun. The second time, we had somebody call the store and say that they were stuck in the carpet roll machine. I had actually taken the first call, and it was actually very garbled, like the signal was breaking up, but I obviously can't take this lightly. I tried to ask again who was stuck, and they hung up, or the signal was lost. At least that's all I can assume, which, if they are back by our flooring area, the carpet machine, there's a lot of metal. It can interfere with the call, I'm sure. I tell my coworker that I'm going to check on this call and see if there's actually anything going on. I get back to the flooring department, and the associate from the flooring department is already on the phone with someone, also very garbled and breaking up. But the person on the other end of the line is saying that their kid is also stuck in the carpet roll machine. We tried verifying that they were actually in our store and not the next closest store, perhaps. They said no, they were at our store. They even said our town, because our town only has one. Their kid climbed up the roll of carpets and is now stuck in the machine, and that's where they either hung up or the signal was lost again. We searched all through the area. There was no sign of anything like this going on, whether it was adult or child. There was no one in our carpet rollers, and we can see that no one is there. We're right there. We can see there's nothing. No one's screaming. No one's panicking. We figured if someone, especially a kid, was stuck, they would be screaming and crying, but no, it was dead silent. So we had to brush it off as a prank. But of course, we stayed on edge after that. We told management about the prank call, just in case they called back later, and to try it again, or say something else stupid. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Like I said, when we were all kids, we've all done stupid phone call pranks. I don't know. I used to do stupid shit like Bart Simpson calling Moe's Tavern, or, calling up the classic stupid stuff like, oh, if your fridge is running, da 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 da. We never tried to make a prank involving someone being hurt like that. At least not at a store. We may have joked back in the day, pranking mom, oh, I cut my finger, and you have a little ketchup out or something. But you never cause that kind of a panic. There's just some lines you don't cross. Anywho, on to the next story. I'm working at a hardware store at this time, and a guy comes in with a push mower that looks, for the most part, rather new. I look at it, and it has been used, but hardly. It is fairly clean overall. The guy starts out by saying he has no receipts. All his receipts and info for anything he had left was taken by the fire. He then proceeds to show me a picture of an inferno that he took that was his house and all of his belongings, except for this almost pristine looking mower. Apparently, the guy had this mower in a separate storage facility. Not sure if he had a shed far away or something on his property, or if he had a storage unit somewhere else. I don't know, but apparently that's where this mower was. He then proceeds to tell me he hasn't used this thing in at least a year. He said it may even be 2 years old. He hasn't had to use it since he had a riding mower, but since that was taken in the recent fire, he's got to try and use this now. So he tried to use this one, and the mower will not work. Sadly, after sitting doing nothing for at least a year or more, these things tend to just die like that. No use is almost as bad as overuse, especially depending on where you live and how you store it. If you're in the desert and it's in a shed or a poorly maintained storage unit that isn't temperature controlled, more than likely it's going to be dead within a year. If you're lucky, it might work. Especially if you have a rat problem and things are chewing on the innards that we can't see. We don't know. Either way, as much as I understand the situation and the customer's emotional state, I, by policy, can't do anything. There's no receipts. He's already said he's had it for over a year, if not older, and it's dead. He's got to go through the maker of the mower. There's nothing I can do, and I've already tried talking to my manager on duty, who isn't very sympathetic at this point. So, sadly, I have to give this bad news to a very emotional customer. I explained what management said, and I apologized. I told him that I wish I could do more and that I hope things get better for him. Well, in his anger and other emotions, he cussed me out, told me that he knows I don't give a flying fuck about him or any of his stuff, and he only hopes that none of us ever have to experience any of what he's going through. And he storms out, telling me essentially that I'm just a heartless bastard, and this is fucking ridiculous. No one wants to help him. Look, I get it, especially when you have a lot going on like this. We've all been through some shit. We all believe no one knows what we're going through or what we're feeling. But most of the time, what you're going through is not as unique as you may think. Not to mention, when you're talking to a complete stranger, all you can do is assume what they have and haven't been through. But you don't know what they've survived in their life. The last thing you need to do is tell someone that they don't know what you're feeling or what they've been through. You don't need to invalidate anyone for any reason. We're always told when we're at work, almost no matter where you work, that we don't know what someone is going through. Always take that into consideration in how you react to things or do or say things. But no one ever takes that into consideration when they're not on the clock. When they're the customer or they're going through it, they feel like that just gives them the automatic right to abuse other people. Sometimes, people, you need to check your own emotions and realize not everyone's out to get you. Sadly, the world is fucked up, especially in a world that is completely ran by corporations. We have to listen to them and do our job. Otherwise, we will lose our job and be in a situation fairly similar to yours. Anywho, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic to this guy or what happened to him. But at the same time, everyone at the desk that heard mine and this guy's encounter, including other customers, all said something along the same lines. If that's how he's treating people, especially someone trying to help him, that's probably why his house burnt down. Cosmic karma gets you, and if you don't change how you treat people, sometimes it just keeps hitting you. He's going to have the life that he deserves. I can't exactly argue this point. As bad as that may make me sound, I have to agree. Sometimes people get what they deserve. And sad part is that could go either way. And the last story that we're going to be telling here, I know this is a little bit of a different episode, trying to keep it around the same time length. But I know I went on my little bit of a rant, and I've been doing my ads for Aspire energy drinks. So that does take up a little bit more time, but I do also want to try and keep putting episodes out and keep it consistent. So last story, we're going to end it on a little bit more of a funny note here. This is a story from my assistant manager at a company I used to work for. About 10 minutes before the store closed, 10 cars all pull in at the same time. We're trying to tell everyone that, hey, we're only here for about 10 more minutes. Cue famous last words from all of them. I'll be just a minute. Oh, I just need one or two things. One person is trying to rent a truck from the rental department, which closes daily at 6 p.m. It is almost 10 p.m. We have 3 people in plumbing waiting on one person to try and help them. One person down hardware. One person bolting in the doors to let people out. and a few more people spread out looking for whatever. Finally, we get all of them through the registers and we lock the doors, and it is now 30 minutes after our scheduled close time. We're closed. Pages have been made overhead. We have swarmed the entire sales floor at this time. I think we're good. The ASM says they go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden they're hearing more pages overhead for someone to come to the front end. Okay, that's got to be a page for her. So they go to see what's going on. There's another customer. Apparently, he had fallen asleep in the men's restroom and didn't hear anything until just now. This story has been dubbed by all of the associates that worked that night the 30-minute shit sleeper. Some people, I don't know about you, like, depending on how long he was actually asleep on there, I'd think his legs would be super dead. I'm surprised he was able to stand up. Maybe that's what took him so long getting back out once he finally woke up. Y'all, if you're that tired, don't be going out shopping at 10 o'clock at fucking night. What the hell? Anywho, on that note, I think we're going to call that an episode. Thanks again for listening, guys. As always, I appreciate everyone who's been listening, and especially those who've been sending me their stories. Again, whatever I call you on the show is all you will ever be known as. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Denise Esparza from Nisi Art on Instagram. She's the one who's responsible for the thumbnails that you guys see when I upload my episodes. Check her out on Instagram if you want to see what else she can do. I want to give a shout out to Nivation as well for the intro and the outro music that's provided for the show. You can find Nivation on Spotify and on Facebook. Nivation, Denise, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate both of you for helping me keep this going. With all that being said, this is Alpha signing off. Stay fabulous, everyone.